Hey everybody, I'm back out here in the shop working on the COE project, and what I'm doing today is taking off the forelink and the airbags and everything else so that I can power wash the axle and then go ahead and paint it. So all I really got left is the sway bar, and I also did add another tube right here just for extra strength as always. And I added this plate, which also has a tube underneath it that goes straight across. And the reason why I didn't just do a tube was because when the bolts come out of these mounts, they come out like up to here, and so the bar is all the way up here, so it doesn't do a whole lot of good. And that's kind of why the plate's there as well. So I guess I could have thought that through a little bit better, but live and learn, it works. Anyways, I'm gonna finish getting this axle out and then fire up the power washer.
It's so loud inside my shop because it's hailing. All right, well, it's dinner time for me, but check it out. Got the differential all painted and back under the truck, so just gonna wait for the paint to dry. And I actually painted some of the upper metalwork as well. Just since I had everything out of the way, I figured I might as well. And yeah, I'll go ahead and get it all put back together tomorrow. But I'm actually going to paint the link arms and stuff while they're off the car too, so maybe it won't go back together tomorrow. Anyways, I'll see you then. Hey, what's going on everybody? Working on the COE project again today. We're back on the rear airbag support, I should say. And I came up with an idea to make this like gusset plate for the center section here, because I never really liked the way it turned out. Seeing as how I didn't really have a plan when I built it. But after seeing this in paper, I think it looks pretty good, and I'm gonna go ahead and get it cut out of metal and get it welded on there. I'm definitely not bragging or anything, but my freehand skills are getting better. I had one little mishap there where the torch kind of hung up, but I think we'll be able to clean it up pretty quick. All right, I got the gusset made up, and this is what it's looking like. I'm just gonna go ahead and MIG weld it in there, and maybe worry about doing some type of design with the drill holes a little bit later. Anyways, I'll show you what the finished product looks like here in a second. Don't forget to turn the gas on. Okay, here's the finished product. I think it looks pretty killer, and ready to move on to the next step, which is the arms. And I'm just right now actually running passes to finish welding in these bungs, and then I'll clean them up some and get them painted and get them reinstalled. All right, I finished welding up the control arms there, and I prepped them and painted them. I went with the same gold that's on the engine block of the 24 valve. I think it's gonna look pretty cool. Hey everybody, welcome back. Today we're working on the COE some more. I've forgot to weld on these outer plates for the lower link mounts here, and they were just tacked on there. And I'm also going to run a plate on the back side here and a tube from that plate over to the transmission mount, just because I would like to see a little bit more structure added to that. It just kind of scares me looking at it. So that's what we're working on. I did spend the first hour or so cleaning up my shop because it was getting really bad again, and I got everything vacuumed now and most everything put away, so we're looking pretty good. I'm waiting on the paint to dry for the links, and then we'll get the rear end probably reinstalled tomorrow. I'm waiting on a shipment of fluid from AMSOIL, so I'd like to fill the differential while I have the ability to tilt it down before I go ahead and put everything back together. So that'll happen tomorrow, and after that we're probably gonna start removing the firewall out of the cab here and the floor as well. The previous owner, or whoever attempted to do the work on it, was even less skilled than me, and I could definitely, you know, make it work, but I'd rather just redo it because it'll be a good learning experience for me, and it looks like a fairly simple project. I'm not really too worried about it. I think we might be able to knock it out within a week or two, depending on how much time I have available. Anyways, let's get started on these frame mounts. We're gonna use the TIG welder because I just don't want to see the MIG weld protruding off of the side. I'd like it to be a little bit more flush, so we'll do that. All right, we got our gusset done on one side, and I think it looks pretty good. Kind of ties in with the theme of the rest of the build. There you go, and we're gonna go ahead and get the other side done real quick and call. All right, both sides are done, and I know I've said it probably 4 or 5 times now, but I'm 99.9% sure that I'm done with most of the modification on the framework. So the last thing I have to do is shock mounts, and I'm thinking I'm just gonna bring some arms off of here forward to line up with these guys, but I'll worry about that when I get the shock mount, or the shocks I should say. And in the meantime, this is what we got. So we have the lateral support that we welded in here for any sideways movement, and we also have the bar that we added to the front with the gusset plate. I think that's gonna add enough strength to not have to worry about it anymore, so I'm happy, and I'm calling it a night. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. All right, we got our oil, so we're gonna go ahead and first thing fill the diff up, and then we could start reassembly on that guy. So some of you may be wondering, why did I have to wait to get the diff fluid to fill it up before I put everything back together? And the reason is I didn't have to, but with the differential, you know, like, it's a real pain in the ass to get a funnel angled into there, and while you're working underneath the frame and stuff, when this is sitting level. So it's just going to be a whole lot easier to fill it up while the diff is pointed down. And gotta love these easy squeeze packs. Little update for you guys. I got the truck all back together. I think it's looking awesome. Those little bit of color accents really do wonders. And I actually pulled off the rear wheel. I was going to install the official rear wheels that are going to go on here. And then I remembered I have new disc brakes and brake pads for the rear, so I was gonna put those on, but I'm having some trouble getting the disc off. I've never worked on an axle this big before, and all the ones I've looked at online, these bolts right here go all the way through to the hub, and on this one obviously they don't. So I don't think it comes off from the back here. It's looking pretty tight back there. So my next option was to pop this cap off. I just pulled the bolts, and I'm about to pull it off, but it looks like it's gonna leak, so I'm gonna throw some cardboard underneath it first, and hopefully the disc will come off once we get that piece off. I don't know. Cross your fingers. Second update. I think all the fluid that I just added to the diff was about ready to come pouring out, because that stuff looks pretty clear. So what I went ahead and did was jacked it up and put a jack stand under one side to hopefully drain all the fluid into the other side, and hopefully we won't lose much. Let's find out. Okay, so apparently that cap is the axle. So we've taken the axle out and we stopped losing fluid, but that nut is very large and looks like it probably is going to require a special tool. So I'm gonna look at it a little bit further. It really looks like you have to remove that to remove a bearing, and then the rest of the hub comes out, including the brake, which I really hope is not the case. But I don't know, it's not looking good. I don't even know if these are two-piece. It looks like they are. But yeah, I think I'm gonna do some research before I try and go any further. I really can't even go any further, honestly. I don't have a nut for, or a socket for that nut. All right, I did a little research, and it turns out that yeah, it's like a 2 9/16 socket for this, and this locking clip is not reusable, and the nut itself is not reusable. So I had to order all 3 of those things, and we're hoping they're going to be here Monday, unfortunately. So that kind of puts a damper on this. I guess I could still throw the wheels on one side. You know, I don't like to do things repeatedly, so I won't do both sides. But I really want to see what it looks like, so I'm gonna try it. Check it out. This thing is looking freaking awesome.